morning, everybody. It is Monday, January 23rd, 2023. This is the First Alert Desk, and we're going to be bringing you the top stories of the morning. This is my first time doing it, so you guys are in for a real treat. Could be a disaster, could be amazing, but you're going to learn a little something. We want to make sure you're prepared for the week. So, this is my nifty little super, Lana Harris, that's my name, and let's jump into it. The first story you guys may or may not have been keeping up with, this is the protest over the city's future police training program. And we can tell you there are 6 people who were arrested over the weekend because of this. In fact, you probably saw the videos of the Atlanta police car on fire. That happened this weekend, and that was all related to the same situation. So 6 people are now facing criminal charges, including domestic terrorism and rioting. Now, most of these people aren't from Georgia. Of the 6 people arrested over the weekend, only the youngest one is from here. So one of them, along with that APD car that was on fire, and let me loop this video for you guys. 3 buildings in a 2-block area were particularly damaged, and just looking at this probably reminds you of the summer after the death of George Floyd, when there were fires and business windows shattered and just chaos. And if you haven't been keeping up with this particular situation, all of this stemmed from last week's shooting at the site of Atlanta's Future Police Training Center. State troopers were trying to clear out groups of people who call themselves forest defenders. They set up camps on the property to protest what they've been calling Cop City. And in that incident, 26-year-old Manuel Terran shot a state trooper. Other troopers fired back, and he was killed. So that leads us to Saturday's protest that got out of control. As it was winding down, rioters took over. They set that Atlanta police cruiser on fire. They busted out windows. And if you didn't catch it, Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens appeared on CBS's Face the Nation, and he defended the police training center. He blasted the rioters for protesting one of the very things they asked for since the 2020 death of George Floyd and Rayshard Brooks. They wanted more police training. So to have all of this happen is a little confusing for, I think, a lot of people who would like to see police training. And I think the question is, is there another location? Is that the problem? We are going to continue to follow that story for you. In other news, that wasn't the only violence that happened over the weekend. Across Atlanta, there were a ton of violent incidents, and it was really, really sad to see. A 13-year-old boy was shot near a popular skating rink, Cascade. We all know Cascade, right? Multiple people were shot at an apartment complex, and a toddler was hurt in a shooting at a hotel. They believe he was at the skating rink and was shot nearby, not in the parking lot of the rink, referring to the 13-year-old boy. It's a shooting. You saw that comment there on your screen. That was a council member, Andrea Boone. She said this type of violence is not normal for the area. The rink has been a safe haven for families, and to see this type of violence is deeply disturbing. Let's play the right video for you here. There you go. No, that's the California one. That's the one you need right there. So along with that, in Brookhaven, police say a man was shot and killed. 3 others were hurt, all at an apartment complex on Buford Highway. 3 survivors were taken to the hospital, and a 3-year-old boy was shot in a town suites in Lithia Springs. 3 years old. 2 people are facing several charges for that. And, you hear about all these incidents. It's really just ridiculous that all of that would happen, A, in one weekend, and B, in our city. If you know people who are involved in this stuff, you should really, really talk with them. Next story was equally as sad. I hate to bring so many horrible stories to you on this Monday, but 10 people were unfortunately killed and 10 more were injured in a mass shooting in California. And here's some of that scene video for you here. This happened at the Star Ballroom Dance Studio's Lunar New Year celebration. It's a cultural celebration. And the suspect in this case is 72 years old. He's been identified as Hu Can Tran. He allegedly walked into that dance hall and opened fire. Investigators say all the shooting victims appear to be at least 50 years old. We also know that Tran used to give dance lessons there. Now, after the shooting, he reportedly fled and showed up at another dance studio about 20 minutes later, with what police say is the intent to shoot people there as well, but bystanders wrestled the gun away from him and he ran away. So a massive 12-hour manhunt ensued. It eventually led to SWAT finding him in a white van, and he had a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and he was dead in that truck. And so now, of course, investigators are looking for a motive as to why a 72-year-old man would do something like this, end his life in this manner. So we'll be on top of that one for you as well. But let's talk about something interesting, shall we? Interesting and positive and kind of annoying. It's Netflix. Netflix is cracking down on password sharing, and I'm a little annoyed about it. I don't know if you guys are too, but Netflix says it knows more than 100 million of its users are sharing their passwords with people who don't live in their house, and that violates the company's terms of use. So the streaming company told shareholders it plans to crack down in the coming months by charging an extra fee. Netflix says widespread password sharing undermines its long-term ability to invest in and improve its service. But who is paying for Netflix when your friend pays for Netflix, when your mom pays for Netflix? I don't know, but they're not wrong. Everybody does it, so that pretty much does it for me. Honorable mention though, Ted Lasso, season 3. It's coming out in the spring. Apparently it's going to be the last season, so you heard it here first. And you also have a beautiful sunrise here on this Monday. Courtney Jacobazzi has been watching me this entire time on my first day over here, cheering me on. I'm so nervous. Hopefully this went well. Hopefully you learned about what happened around you in Atlanta here over the weekend. And let's talk about the forecast, shall we?
Yes, yes, yes. Good morning, everyone. Lana, you did a great job. And I was very intrigued listening to you. You did wonderful. Love your commentary per usual. All the good things. So we do have a couple of things to talk about, a couple of changes. We will, thank you. I'm actually, as we speak, getting my box ready because for those of you who don't know, Lana's like 5'10" and I'm 5'1", so you know the way the height difference works is a little bit uncanny. But anyway, yeah, so some clouds out there right now, but that will change through the day. We'll actually end up seeing a lot of sunshine. So good morning. I hope everyone's Monday off to a good start. Hopefully your weekend went well, despite the fact that Sunday was very dreary. It was cold, it was rainy, it was misty. We had a few thunderstorms overnight. We actually broke a record for rainfall yesterday. So we're gonna talk about that and then we'll talk about the rest of the week, what to expect. We actually have a few dry days on the way after what seems to be, you get like maybe 18 hours of dry weather and then rain returns. So we're actually gonna get a few days of drier weather. We'll talk about when you can expect that coming up here shortly. So in the meantime, yesterday, we picked up 2.02 inches at the Atlanta airport. That's where we record our rainfall and our temperatures for the city of Atlanta. And so that's like our official rain gauge. And that was a record for the day. So yesterday, on January 22nd, we have never picked up, since we've started at least keeping record, 2.02 inches of rain in just a 24-hour period. So that was a record, and this month so far we've picked up almost 6 inches of rain, which is pretty incredible. And now January is one of our wetter months of the year, and we really are starting the year off with a bang when it comes to rainfall. That was all, of course, thanks to a cold front. Brought us a couple rumbles of thunder through the overnight, bringing snow all the way up the eastern seaboard. If you watched the Bills game over the weekend, the NFL game, the football game, you saw just that like snow coming down so hard. That was thanks to that weather system that brought us the rain on Sunday. So now they are still dealing with that. And I can only imagine sitting in a football game. Now, from what I've heard from my friends who are from the north, they say that that is just like the perfect wintertime playoff game in the Northeast when it snows like that. Like that's almost like a white Christmas for football fans. I don't know if I would enjoy sitting in that, but I did enjoy watching it all on TV. So right now, this is what we're looking at. All the rain is pushing off the coast. Any kind of winter weather kind of up the Appalachian spine and in the Northeast. Unfortunately, that doesn't look to be on the way for us right now, but we do still look to be in a pretty active weather pattern, so we're going to be watching that because maybe we will have I saw Krista, good morning Krista, ask if there's any snow for Northwest Georgia. Not in the immediate future, but just with our active pattern, that's something that we can surely watch for in the coming weeks. But right now, no guarantee for that at all. But we'll still be keeping an eye on it. When you have these weather systems roll through and that cold air spill in, we are in the winter months. I guess you can't ever really rule that out, right? So we're starting to see some peaks of sunshine through the clouds. Overall, it's a beautiful morning out there, but cold. So that cold front naturally spilling in that cold air. And it's 43 in Atlanta, 41 in Marietta, 41 in Lawrenceville, and 45 in Athens. But the issue is it's also quite breezy out there. You probably noticed that on your drive to work this morning, or if you maybe stepped outside to walk the dog or take the kids to the bus stop. It's pretty breezy. So we'll experience this wind throughout the day today, sustained wind anywhere between 10 to 15, maybe isolated as high as 20. You can see there we're dealing with sustained wind at 18 miles per hour in Gainesville right now. So this will continue through the day. Now that we're starting to heat up, and I say heat loosely because of course it is chilly out there, but when the sun comes up, that helps mix all the air in the atmosphere and helps ultimately make the wind a little bit heavier. So through the day today, expect this kind of wind speed to persist, which will ultimately make it feel colder. Here's a look at your wind chill right now. 31 in Ellijay, 35 in Atlanta. It feels like 35 in Lawrenceville, 32 in Carrollton. So it is really, really chilly out there. To me, this would be considered cold. To some of you, this might be chilly. Either way, you need the thicker coat as you make your way out the door this morning. Through the rest of the day, again, we will see clearing skies, so more sunshine will continue to filter in. We'll see a lot of blue sky. It'll look nice, it just won't feel nice out there, with temperatures only climbing into the low to mid 40s. Keep in mind, if you're in the higher elevations of the Northeast Georgia mountains, you're probably not going to get out of the 30s today. You might budge to 40 degrees, but it's going to be really, really cold up there through the day today. Prepare for it. Kind of comes with the territory living up there. We know how it goes up in the Northeast Georgia mountains, especially when you are in the higher elevations. The higher up in the atmosphere you go, the colder it gets. So when you get these cold blasts of air to kind of move in, it feels even colder. Comes with the territory of living up there, but make sure you have the coat no matter where you're headed out this morning, because it is quite cold and it will stay cold through the day. So we're going to be dry as we head into today and tomorrow. Clouds will build Tuesday ahead of our next first alert for widespread rain, maybe even some isolated storms. We will be watching for maybe an isolated severe storm as we head into Wednesday morning, late Wednesday morning, mainly south of the metro. So if you took 85, which kind of cuts diagonally through our viewing area, through North Georgia, south of 85 is really where we're going to be looking for maybe an isolated strong to severe storm. Unfortunately, we're talking places like Griffin that just got hit really hard, but the kind of asterisk to put on that, that just was a tongue twister, the asterisk to put on that is we are not expecting any kind of major severe weather event like we did see last week. Maybe a stronger storm could have some just very gusty wind in any of the storms that do develop. But for the most part, it's going to be a pretty rainy early morning commute. Here's 6 a.m. So if you travel out to work very early on Wednesday, anywhere across the metro, it's going to be rainy. We could have heavy pockets of rain at times. The wind will pick up with this as well. This is all part of a larger weather system that will bring a lot of winter weather to parts of the Midwest. And so we're going to be close to the center of circulation with this system. And the closer you get to a center of low pressure, the windier it's going to be. So do expect that wind to pick up along with the rain. Because we have had so much rain lately, if we do have some of those gustier winds roll in, 40, 50 mile per hour wind gusts, which is possible, maybe we could have some down trees because the ground is still very saturated. So that's something we'll be watching for. You just want to be really careful driving out Wednesday morning. That does clear off to the southeast throughout the late morning. And at this point, the rain and the thunderstorm activity will be down in central Georgia. And that is where I think the greater threat for severe weather lies, is definitely down in the central Georgia area, and then even more so South Georgia. But for us, again, from places like Griffin, so places like Spalding County, maybe Jasper and Putnam County, Lamar County, Butts County, we could be watching for maybe an isolated severe storm because of gusty wind. Might hear a few rumbles of thunder across the metro as well, but we just don't have the energy because of the timing of this. It's going to come through very early in the morning. We won't have that chance to heat up to get any of that substantial energy for thunderstorm activity and severe thunderstorm activity, but we'll be watching for it. You'll want to stay up to date on the Atlanta News First app. We will be updating you there with our forecasts throughout the morning and the afternoon and the evening. So if you have that app, you will stay up to date on any kind of severe weather threat that might be on the way here in North Georgia. But right now, that's looking very limited for us, thankfully. Here's a look at your temperatures the next few days. So today, again, mid 40s. We'll go into the mid 50s tomorrow, which is about normal. Then we'll go into the low 60s Wednesday. Then that cold air spills in behind that next weather system. So highs are only going to be in the 40s by the end of the week. The mornings are going to be extremely cold. It'll also be windy on Thursday morning behind that next weather system, so keep that in mind. And the weekend is very January-like, and the weekend, thankfully, is dry as well. So as we head into Saturday and Sunday, we'll be dry. It'll be cold in the morning, chilly in the afternoon, but we'll see sunshine. So tomorrow morning we'll wake up near 30. It's going to be below freezing. Expect low to mid 20s in the suburbs, 29 degrees for the metro tomorrow morning, so you'll need that coat as you head out the door. Wednesday, we'll see clouds build in the morning, and of course we have that rain, so it will be a little warmer Wednesday morning, but still a chilly rain. And as we head into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, behind that next weather system, the cold air just continues to seep in. We'll be near freezing, at or below freezing for Friday, Saturday morning. We'll warm up a little bit on Sunday, but again, we'll stay dry as we head into the weekend. So our dry stretch of weather that we have is going to be just in time for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Sunday, we do have rain return, a very small rain chance. It would be for the evening right now. So your day on Sunday looks mainly dry. It wouldn't be until the evening where we'd worry about any kind of rain to roll in. So for the most part, your weekend will be dry. By the time you're all headed to bed and everything on Sunday night is when we might introduce a rain chance. So as we go through the next 7 days, we do have a first alert for Wednesday because of that rain that I showed you. That will be widespread as we head into the morning hours. So just something to keep in mind. It's going to be a really wet and messy commute on Wednesday. And then we'll stay dry from Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday's rain chance again comes late on Sunday, it looks like right now. If that changes, we'll let you know. Of course, we're still several days out, so that is going to change in one way, shape, or form. But right now, it does look like for the most part your weekend will be dry. It will be January-like with cold mornings and chilly afternoons in the 50s. But we do, again, the big thing that we're kind of emphasizing is, one, it's cold. It's going to be cold the next couple days, so make sure you have your coats with you. And then Wednesday, the morning commute is going to be messy, so prepare for extra time now. When you're setting your alarm on Tuesday night to wake up for work on Wednesday morning, just set it a little extra early, because if you commute early, especially between 6 to 8 a.m. on Wednesday, it's going to be pretty rainy on the roads. And of course, the water isn't just going to evaporate off the roads, so the roads are going to be wet even after the physical rain system and storm system moves through the area. Just be careful on Wednesday morning. That's what that first alert is for, so we can let you know when we know, so you could prepare for your commute or for your day, whatever you have planned. So as always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We'd always love to answer any weather questions you have. Until then, I hope everyone makes it a great Monday. Stay warm. It's very chilly out there today, and this cold air seems to kind of be settling in for almost the last week of January. Can you believe that? I guess it is technically the last full week of January. Where did the month go? It's crazy. So bundle up, everyone, and we'll catch you here next time.